I love these conversations because at the end of the day, we learn a lot from them, just, sitting here and having this. I was on social media, I think it was just a couple of weeks. I came across a video. Mariam, I was shocked. This video had a woman and you could hear voices of other women. And they had this young woman, I think, on the floor, naked, and they had split her legs like this because she was a housemaid and she had slept with her husband.
With the woman's husband.
Yes. Yeah. So the conversations that were going on, it really caught me. First of all, I was shook by that picture, by that video. And this woman was saying, I brought you here to work as a house help or as a maid. And instead you did what? You slept with my husband. How could you do? Which got me to now the conversation we must have. If that situation happens, is it really the maid to blame?
If your man does something like that, even if it's an external woman, why are you attacking the woman?
Exactly.
Why are you attacking the woman? Because it's not going to help. Actually, it's going to make things worse. Attack your man. Why are you doing this to this maid? Pack her up, let her go, deal with your man.
Right.
But why are you being, and by the way, Lucky, that's just one video. There's so many incidences like that. There are so many women beating up maids. But then, as women, like I always say, I don't want to exclude myself out of the picture. Sit back and play back. It's like playing back a tape. What has happened that led to this? What is wrong with my relationship? Because let me tell you, we keep saying men are visual. We keep saying these things. So you brought this maid. Yes, she looks like Ash. She's not going to stay looking like Ash because most of them come from, very humble backgrounds, terrible conditions, So you bring them into this space and they start looking good. They start taking care of themselves. Now, do you want your maid to still look like Ash? That's the first question. And then when they start looking better than they did before, what is the problem with your relationship? That's the thing that you need to ask yourself. Because you see, these maids, it's the men who hit on them. It's the men. Yes, I've had maybe one incident where the maid started dressing, in a different way, tight clothes, short skirts and stuff, trying to, expose herself to the man. But most times, it is the man who is hitting on the woman.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I tell people. In most cases, if you never set boundaries in your home, you're bound to get situations like this. Now, I'm not saying if you set boundaries, it's 100%, certified that your man is not going to go ahead and sleep with a maid, but it reduces on their connect for them to get to that place of now starting a relationship. Why do you have your man interacting
with the maid
profusely with the maid? Like, why do you have that kind of interaction? Make it very clear. In the beginning, the woman should be the one who takes care of the maid issues. Because that maid is actually there to help you as a woman.
Yeah.
Because in our setting as Africans, the woman is the one who takes care of our home to make sure that you have the right meals, to make sure the home is clean. But because we have so much going on, you need what they call a house help.
Yeah.
So therefore, the house help should be in your control, meaning you are the one who knows how much money you pay her,
where you brought her from.
The man could know these things just in case something happens. But then the interaction between Sir and the house help should be limited.
Yeah.
That girl is supposed to talk to you as the woman, and you talk to your man. She cooks the food, you serve the food, you take to your man.
Speaking of that, this brings me to the point I am about to make. what happens with that kind of setting when you don't do boundaries? It's because you've given the maid leeway to do everything. That's why you find people are complaining, how can you put water for bathing for my husband in the bathroom? It's because you allowed it to happen. You understand? You gave them leeway. You made them feel like, oh, you're also part of, you know, but you can go as far as you want. You let them lay your bed. Excuse me? You understand what I'm saying? Eh? So you gave them, you didn't define the what?
The job description. It happens to us even at workplaces where you find yourself doing other people's work. It's the same thing with maids. But the thing is, if you find yourself in this situation where you have not set boundaries, it's not too late to set boundaries. What you're going to do now for yourself, because here we provide solutions. Let go of that maid now.
Exactly.
As in, if you have a maid and you have not set boundaries in your home,
do it today.
And they are having these intimate conversations about anything.
They are going over and above. Some of them even give themselves the jobs because you are not defining the job.
Let this one go, get another one, and when you get another one, create boundaries. Why do you have your husband, your partner, going to a maid's room to get something?
Or ask them something?
Because also your house help as a woman needs her own boundaries. So boundaries are not just on one side. She also must have her boundaries. And she must know that she has a right to those boundaries. Because in most cases, you treat these maids like they are not people. Like they are not people, like they're not supposed to have a voice. See, they are there to provide a service that benefits you. Please also give them a chance to have their own boundaries where she knows in my room so if you want to speak to me, you knock.
I'm going to tell you something.
I can never enter my maid's room without knocking, even if I know it's my home. Because I know that is also her territory. Yes. So we must have these boundaries and also make it okay for our house helps to also have their own boundaries because they are humans. For the lack of that is why we are having these issues every now and then.
Reminds me of something. What works for me is this. When I get a maid, when we sit down and talk, I need to understand. One, are you married? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you need a day off? Let me tell you that day off is also good for them because I've had a maid who actually had a husband, but she decided to come and do this work for reasons, you know, A, B, C, D. And let me tell you, every 2 weeks, she would go on Saturday and return on Sunday. And I spent 6 years with her. 6 years. So, like you say, they also have rights. They also have needs. They are women just like us. Now, if you close them in, if they are not free, it doesn't mean that even the day off she's going to see a man. No, she needs to go out and feel, you know, something, do something of her own, probably go to the market and buy herself some nice clothes. You know, let us also learn to give these people some day off, some time off. They are not slaves.
And then also, which brings us, if we may go back to the earlier on conversation of this incident happening and your man, you know, is sleeping with a house help. First of all, it's not always that every man can fight temptation. Some men sleep with house helps because they can sleep with anyone. It doesn't really matter how many boundaries.
Even with their own women.
No. He can sleep with you. Sleep with a maid. Go to the office, find Maria, and then So once you know that that's the man you have, or you have this one who comes and does work and then goes, because that one you know for him, any skirt bambi, he's going to attack. So even if you put their boundaries, especially, let me tell you something, these girls sometimes come with intention.
Definitely.
Not every household, and you see the signs. She came to look for a man.
So if you're not paying attention, you'll miss the signs.
You'll miss the signs. You'll miss the signs. Because there's like she's really trying so hard.
She's trying so hard to be,
wants, there's a difference between being inspired by your madam and wanting to compete with your madam.
Yes.
You could be inspired by me. Oh, I like how you do this. Madam, how do you do it? Show me. You're inspired. You want to be better. You want to have a better, probably I inspire you. But then there is when she doesn't even ask you. All of a sudden, she's wearing something close to
You see, she's
or
styling
something
the
that
hair
you,
the same way that she's
the same
styling.
way. She's like, she doesn't even ask you. She goes and tries. She would rather have her whole salary and do your hair. That
and
one
then you
is
find
Mojo.
them. Yes, and then you find
That's how she
them,
sees
if you allow
herself.
them in your bedroom, now you find they're wearing probably something of yours.
And
And then they forget. You know, Bambi, they're so gully boy. Sometimes they forget easily. So they can take your pins and put them on, and then they forget.
They forget, and then you find them.
And then, you know, so because again, you have let them into your personal space. So they feel that they can touch your things, do whatever. Let me tell you, all these are temptations. Because that one now is trying to be you.
Exactly, but you have to realize, and I need women to stop blaming themselves, because in most cases we're like, you're the one who put yourself with data. There are these girls come with an agenda. For me, my issue is that you need to realize when she's exactly that, and regardless of how helpless you are with the house chores and what, let that one go. Because there are so many others who are looking for a job.
Stop tying on people.
Because once,
I know people get this thing of, oh, nakoe midimu, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this. Trust me, 1 to 3 days, you'll not die. Let that one go.
Exactly.
Look for another one.
So once you have that kind of situation, of course, dress code also plays a big, a little bit. You want you want them to have their freedom, but at the same time, they need to realize what kind of setup you are. Maybe you have teenagers in the home. You know, it's not always just about your husband.
Because we've had also of children who have slept with the maids,
or abused by these maids. So you, in general, if you have housemates or these extra people who are living in your home, please pay attention and do not give them all the freedom. Have your ear, your eyes in there, and create a system that will report things to you without you even asking. Your kids should know that it's okay for them to tell you things about what's going on in her home. It doesn't necessarily have to just be what she did, but generally, you know, a system where they come, oh, mom, how was the day? How did everything go? Have those conversations, because sometimes you're too tired, Mariam, you come, you put your bag there, you bathe, you don't ask. These kids won't tell you if you don't.
And by the way, if you ask, those kids will tell you.
They will tell you. You just ask them generally, how was everything? You mean with work?
You know, stupidly, I had a maid, and then, you know, when she left, my daughter told me this thing, and I was laughing, and I was like, Mommy, when you'd give us 2 pieces of meat, the maid would take 1 piece of meat, and you know, it's self-service, but she's not satisfied. I mean, it's kind of fun. It's not in this line, but you see,
but it's still
kids will tell you these things. But imagine, I didn't ask when the maid was still there, you know? Again,
so you missed it.
So I missed it. You know, I would have told her, take all the pieces you want. Come on.
Exactly. So have these conversations so that at the end of the day, you have harmony in your homes. But when it comes to your maid sleeping with your husband, that thing also sometimes is just out of your hands. You know what I mean? Do the boundaries, yes, but at the end of the day, also, if you see anything happening in between them, I think that's the time to step in, find out from your man as well. He's an adult. He has a responsibility to you. This maid has no responsibility. You're not in a relationship with this maid. Your relationship is different with her. So if your man goes ahead, please, women, stop holding other people accountable but your man.
Exactly.
If your man sleeps with your
yourself,
friend,
don't hold
you're like my friend.
Yes.
Hold people accountable. Unless, if Mariam, I find you sleeping with my man, I have every right to do everything that I can to. Because you know what? We are good friends. We come from really far. That's different. But if another person who I don't even know slept with my man, I don't know you, but you know who I know? This man right here, you know? So I'm going to deal with him. As I should. You know what I mean? So let's try to know who is accountable for the things that happen in our relationship. And the women shouldn't blame themselves.
They shouldn't. You should stop blaming yourself.
Right.
Just question the man and question the relationship as well.
How was it?